Luke and Laura. Back in the early 80s, they were the hottest couple on daytime television. And now, they're back, and the sparks are still flying.
I think it was a beautiful love story. It's a kind of a love that everybody wishes they could have in their lives.
They are simply Luke and Laura. No last names necessary. They once made headlines as the hottest lovers on daytime television. And this, their wedding, was the greatest single event in the history of daytime soap operas.
They struck a chord in America, and I don't think anybody will ever be as popular as Luke and Laura were in their heyday.
Now, 10 years after that historic event, it's a return engagement. They're back. But can lightning strike twice for soap's most electrifying couple?
It's a little scary. It's a hard thing to do. I mean, this is a case where it's hard to follow our own act.
It's hard to stand in your own shadow.
Yeah.
I think that people will tune in to see them again, to see whether they can recapture the magic, whether they still have the chemistry, what they look like.
Luke and Laura first met back in 1979.
So what can I do for you?
Is it true that you're looking for help in the disco?
Yeah.
Then I'm applying.
Luke raped Laura. She was a young girl, and she then fell in love with him, which was something I always found rather reprehensible. But they had phenomenal chemistry.
Yes, in one of the most bizarre plots a soap opera ever concocted, the rapist and the victim fell in love.
I think that it was the classic anti-hero and the innocent, sort of the wild man and the virgin kind of a thing, and I think that that's what it was.
That whole idea of love on the run was really started with Luke and Laura. They were constantly on the run, donning different disguises, going through all sorts of, machinations that would, be keeping them apart.
Lucas Lorenzo Spencer, king of the single life, is giving it up today.
After a whirlwind romance, they finally tied the knot. It was a wedding to rival Prince Charles and Di's, with 30 million people glued to their tubes.
You may kiss the bride.
The Luke and Laura love story was so popular, even Hollywood legend Elizabeth Taylor showed up for the I-Dos.
It seems to me when you've got Elizabeth Taylor at your wedding, you know that you've got something very serious on your hands.
Jeannie Francis and Tony Geary became a daytime phenomenon. But eventually, all fads fade, and Luke and Laura left General Hospital and Port Charles behind.
Jeannie left in 1981, and then Tony left a little bit later, but they came back. They both came back in 1984 to kind of wrap the story up and waltz off into the sunset together and happy.
Luke went back to being Tony Geary. Laura, just plain Jeannie Francis, and viewers became uninterested. Now, 10 years later, the show's producers are teaming up Luke and Laura once again. Jeannie and Tony just happen to be available. Right before the next ratings period, the darling duo will return.
You're still the most beautiful bride I ever saw.
It can't be the same. And if I'm coming back and trying to redo my old act, I'm going to be acting badly. It's 10 years later. I'm not 18 years old anymore. It can't be the same.
Of course, things will be different the second time around. The adventurous couple are 10 years older with a 10-year-old son. But some things never change. Luke still has that fashionable fro.
You had to spend hours under the dryer. It's a perm thing. People kept saying, well, are you going to perm your hair? Well, I mean, naturally. Luke Spencer had curly hair. I don't have a choice in that, do I?
But the questions remain. Will Luke and Laura sizzle or fizzle? And will television viewers still care after all these years? Stay tuned.
Watch.
It's probably not a bad idea for a lot of real marriages to, take a 10-year break, time out, hiatus, and then see if we're still a hit.
Over again. They're great. Back with more in a moment.